Okay, he's zoomed in rather, but looks like he stepped away from his desk and we don't have an audio connection left yet. As soon as we get one, I'll put this on the record and we'll get going.
Okay.
Okay, Shannon, put us on the record, please.
Ready?
This is a matter of Tellier versus Miller. Counsel, state your appearance, please.
Hello, Your Honor. Gary Schutte on behalf of Mrs. Tellier.
And Ms. Tellier is present. I understand you need to enter pro-con proofs today.
That's correct, Your Honor. We have a judgment prepared. Unfortunately, Ms. Terranova was not able to go over it with her client, so that I'm not able to present a complete signed copy of it, but I believe we'll be able to do that within the next day or two.
That'll be fine. Ma'am, would you raise your right hand, please? You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your full name, please.
Charlotte Elizabeth Rose Tellier.
Go ahead, Mr. Schutte.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Tellier, you're living in Texas right now, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the move to Texas was done by stipulation in order allowing you to take the children and so that you could reside there with them in Texas. Is that correct?
Yes.
At the time of the complaint for divorce being filed, were you a resident of Jackson County for 10 days and a
Yes.
resident of the state of Michigan for 180 consecutive days?
Yes.
Thank you. Were the allegations contained in that complaint for divorce true at the time it was signed, and are they true today?
Yes.
Has there been a breakdown in the marriage to the extent that the objects of matrimony are destroyed and there's no reasonable chance that you and your spouse are going to reconcile?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, are you pregnant?
No.
Are there any living minor children, either born or adopted, during this marriage?
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to review the judgment of divorce and all the support provisions for the children and the property distribution?
Yes.
And you believe that it's a fair and equitable judgment in terms of the division of the property and the support provisions for the children?
Yes.
Do you understand that you had the right to a trial in this case in front of Judge LaFlamme, and that he could have given you a more favorable ruling or a less favorable ruling, or substantially a similar judgment as what was received or negotiated in this case?
Yes.
Are you asking Judge LaFlamme to enter this judgment of divorce and waive your rights to a trial?
Yes.
And are you satisfied with your attorney's efforts in this matter?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. I guess we'd ask the court to sign the judgment when we are able to present it.
So I'm just curious, given the distance, I see the defendant, at least as of the last paperwork, had an address in Vancouver, Washington, and you're living now, I can't remember where you said, but in another state. What are the Texas, okay. Well, what are the parenting time arrangements?
So, what we have discussed and what's in the judgment is that he will have parenting time as we can agree in Texas, that he will have, that will split the children's Christmas break from school, and that he'll have 4 weeks during the summer, split into two-week segments, where he would bring them out to Washington.
And given the distance between the two, do you believe that those provisions are in the best interest of your children?
I do.
All right, well, I am satisfied based upon the proofs that there's been a breakdown in this marriage, that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed. There remains no reasonable likelihood the marriage can be preserved. I believe under the circumstances, the custody and parenting time provisions are indeed in the best interest of the children. And as soon as I get that judgment, I will approve it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our hearing. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too.
I've got somebody in there, Shannon. Lou's there, and at least one of his defendants.
Oh, do you want me to, okay,
I thought I'd just go ahead and call it.
sure,
If they're done early, then we can take care of them early.
sure. All right, I just went back on the record.
Okay, let's get them logged in. Okay, we're waiting for the front of the court officer to connect by audio. I've got someone by telephone. Could you state your name, please? I've got telephone number 788-4000.
That's Lou Costley. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, Lou, I've got you coming in somewhere else. Are you trying to log in on the computer?
Yeah, I'm on the computer, but I don't have a camera, so I have to do the audio over phone.
Oh, okay. Well, we can just forget about the other one. I was assuming that it was you on the one window and a party on the other. We actually started early, so I'm going to leave you in the room, but I'm going to go off the record until until somebody shows up.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, and we don't necessarily need the computer connection as long as we've got a good, clear telephone connection.
Okay.
All right, well, I think I'm just gonna leave my live stream running, but you can take us off the record. And I'll keep an eye on this to see if somebody else shows up. We'll give them a few minutes anyway.
Okay, I just gotta get something here.
Yeah, you're good. All right, I'm
Oh, yeah,
gonna,
because you have one in your office,
yeah,
right? Okay, gotcha.
well, I got that image in my
Right,
office.
okay.
Lou, I'm just gonna leave this running until somebody else logs in, okay?
Okay.
See you in a few.
Alrighty.
Okay, Shan, let's do it. Okay. Shannon put us on the record.
Hi, Lou.
Hello.
All right, let me find out who we've got here.
Hello.
This is
Hi.
Brittany Armstrong. And I've got someone in by telephone. Could you state your name, please?
Trista White.
Okay, hold on a minute. I'm going to rename this so I know who you are.
Okay.
Okay, let's call Ms. White's cases first. I've got White versus Lantis and White versus Wagner. And Lou, I've got your summary sheet, according to what I have in front of me, on the 08 file, which is currently charging $113 a month, so almost $26 a week, and arrears over $2,400. Last payment April 7th of this year, an amount of $77.89. And the
Yes,
other
that's correct.
file, the 2010 file, is charging at $101 a month, $23.22 per week. Arrears totaling almost $37,000. Last payment the same day, $77.89. Looks like whatever payment was received then was split equally between the two files. You're recommending payment plans on both files, $30 per week for a period of 30 weeks, correct?
Yes.
So Ms. White, are you currently working?
I am not, no.
When were you last employed?
It was around April 7th, right at the start of, I was working and then COVID had started. So that's when all of it kind of stopped. And that, like you said, April 7th was my last payment. I think around April 1st, I stopped working.
Okay, and you were working at Convenience King?
Yes, sir.
Are you receiving unemployment?
I am not, no.
There's a lot of unemployment money out there. Did you apply?
Yes, I've attempted, and I seem to be at a standstill right now. So I've attempted that, and with everything going on, and also being on hold with unemployment, I've decided for myself that I'm just going to go out there and attempt to look for another job and just try to be as careful as possible.
All right, but you've got a pending unemployment claim, so at some point, if
Yes.
that gets approved, you will be getting a
Yes,
lump
sir.
sum payment.
Yes, sir.
Lou,
Yeah.
is there anything in place to capture some of the unemployment money once she does get a check?
Usually if they go on to unemployment, the system automatically enters in an income withholding order so we start receiving money.
Okay.
All right. So right now, Ms. White, you do not have any regular source of income?
I do not, no, sir.
Have you got
I will say,
applications?
I had a couple, and then, like I said, I tried the unemployment around the same time that I got the applications. I have a couple places in mind. So I do have applications. I just have to get them filled out. But I do want to state it was kind of relevant or relevant, irrelevant. I did update my address via the government website. I'm not really sure which it was, and I got one of the stimulus payments. And I received a letter shortly after getting the stimulus payment that it would all be directed towards child support. So I know sometime soon, I don't know when, but there's $1,200 that will be coming that way.
All right. And when do you plan to start looking for another job?
This weekend, my mom is helping me out, and she actually gave me a car. So I'm gonna fix that up this weekend with my father-in-law, with my stepdad, and then I'm gonna go out and turn in these applications and get serious about finding a job again.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to order anything today. I'm going to reschedule this for 4 weeks from today,
Okay.
and we'll see how you're doing then. I'm definitely going to want to hear that you are either employed or about to be employed, or that you've started receiving unemployment.
Okay.
The stimulus check that was captured, if it's anything like tax refunds, it takes forever before those actually get applied to an account. Lou, have you had any experience with those?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
hit and
have I-
miss. Sometimes they hold them for a while in case of fraud. Sometimes they come straight through. It's usually kind of
but-
on a case by case.
But they haven't showed up yet, correct?
No, usually it will show up on our system once that does come through.
All right, so let's put this over. 4 weeks will put us to August 13th at 3 o'clock, ma'am, and just be ready to update me on your status at that time. Given the COVID-19, I'm inclined to be a little more flexible, but I know there's jobs out there, and
Right.
the needs of your children continue, no matter what. So
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Very, very, very important that you're doing everything you can to make sure your child support obligation is paid. So I'm going to adjourn this for 4 weeks.
Okay, and could I, before we disconnect, I'm sure I'll receive a letter, but could I take note of the date again one more time?
Yes. August
13th,
13th, that's okay. At what time?
3
August
p.m.
13th at 3 p.m.
Okay, awesome. I've taken note. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am, we'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Next up
Mm-hmm.
is Armstrong versus McGee. Ms. Armstrong is present. Mr. McGee has not appeared. This was scheduled for 3 p.m. It is now 3:20. I'm checking the waiting room just to make sure he hasn't logged in. No, he has not. I'm just looking at the notice. It appears that Mr. McGee received notice and instructions for video hearing today. Lou, would you like me to issue a bench warrant?
Yes, Your Honor.
What would the amount of the bond on that bench warrant be?
Easy here. Looks like 1,200.
All right, I will sign that. Just get it over to me in the ordinary course. I'll sign it and we'll get it issued.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Armstrong, as long as we have you here, do you have any information about Mr. McGee? Whether or not he's working or where he might be working?
Your Honor, we had court a couple weeks ago. He told the judge that he was working under the table for a tree company through a guy named Cliff, and that's as far as I know. I do know that he has not been seeing his kids, has not called. I dropped his kids off at his parents' house on Father's Day, and he didn't even contact them to see if he could see his kids. It's been probably 4 or 5 months since he's seen his kids, and I haven't heard anything about him asking if he could see them. Nothing. His wife won't let me talk to him in regards to our kids. It's just been a fighting battle, so I've been going through his parents to get a hold of him because it's just an issue if I contact him.
All right, well, I'm going to issue a bench warrant. What'll happen is when that bench warrant gets served, he will be arrested. He'll be brought in front of me, and I will make sure when that happens that you are notified and that we make arrangements so that he can start paying his child support. As far as parenting time, I can scold him about not seeing his children, but I can't make a parent see their children. But I certainly can make them pay their child support, and that'll be my goal.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that does it for today. Lou, I'll watch for those orders to come through.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Good weekend.
Thank you. You as well.